Here's something on a serious note. When the Arlington Weekly News began back in 1981, Comcast entered into an agreement to provide it and the other programs with facilities for production. Our organization has become known as Arlington Independent Media, or AIM. This arrangement worked well until the agreement was changed at the end of 2016. Going forward, AIM must pay rent for the production facility, and, as you can imagine, it isn't cheap. However, if 10% of Arlington's current population donates just $10 per year, the facility rental will be covered. If you believe that the continuation of both the television and radio stations is worth the cost, please make a donation online by going to either www.wera.fm or www.arlingtonmedia.org and clicking on Donate. Thank you.
Hello, this is Hef Munson from Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. This week we are on location at the Arlington County Fair. I'm here in anticipation of the ribbon cutting ceremony, which they tell me is going to be near the love sign. So that is the concept.
Hello and welcome to the Arlington Weekly News. We're on location in the second week of August here at the Arlington County Fair, covering the top stories here for Arlington Weekly News. We have a great news program for today. We have our news stories. It's Easy Being Green with Adele Crow and Miriam Gennari. CBB, a roll-in fun at the fair. We can't forget our senior stories, and then a roll-in for the Rock Baker. But first, to our social media announcement for today. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. And you can also listen to us on the radio as we are reporting here on location for the Arlington Weekly News here at the Arlington County Fair. And now to our first news story for tonight. A new protected bike lane has opened in Ballston on North Quincy Street. The new lane runs for only 2 blocks between North Leib Road and 9th Street North. But at least for that range, it provides an additional level of safety. Cyclists visiting the Mosaic Park or the Kettler Iceplex will most likely appreciate the change.
There's a difference between a regular bike lane and protected bike lanes. A regular bike lane consists of only a section of road marled off with paint. It can be blocked and illegally parked on. or drifted into by a careless driver. A protected bike lane is separated from the regular road by physical barriers such as a curb or strategically placed poles. An example of a curb-protected lane can be found on Fairfax Drive between North Glebe Road and the ramp at Interstate 66.
And now to our next news story for tonight here on location at the Arlington County Fair. This year marks the 50th anniversary of the end of the Washington and Old Dominion Railroad. The railway had provided train service for 130 years before finally ceasing operations. That's in the summer of 1968. Its legacy has been partially preserved by the conversion to the popular WNOD bike trail, which runs from South Arlington all the way to Purcellville. In addition, Metro Rail provides transportation along a somewhat similar route from East Falls Church to Wheelie Avenue, so the old railway is not completely gone and certainly not forgotten.
Here's an alert for riders of the Metro Rail. From now through August 26, Metro will shut down the Blue Line completely between Arlington Cemetery and Roslyn. There are two alternatives. Passengers may use the Yellow and Orange Line and the Silver Line to detour via LaFont Plaza in Washington, D.C., or, if the weather is agreeable, the walk from Roslyn to the north end of the cemetery is fairly short, only about 4/5 of a mile. Meanwhile, other construction along the Blue Line is expected to result in some delays and crowding conditions.
And now we're going to go to our own Adele Crow as she has It's Easy Being Green. Adele.
Welcome to It's Easy Being Green. We are so excited to be at the Arlington County Fair this year. Guess what? They are going green with a zero waste policy, and we want to talk about some of the wonderful things they're trying to implement this year. For instance, they are trying to ban all single-use plastic straws and have the vendors replace them with compostable options. So they also want to ban styrofoam, which is huge. We're so happy to hear that. And that means no styrofoam cups and no styrofoam clamshells. Yay! So Joe Tree Frog wants you to know that we're also trying to ban small condiment packets for mustard, ketchup, and all those sauces. And instead, vendors should provide bulk distribution in paper cups for these items. It would also be great if we can recycle materials in a single stream recycling stream. So remember, you can put your paper, your cardboard, your glass, aluminum, and plastic materials in these special bins that are set up all over the campgrounds or fairgrounds. So look for these giant signs that mark it out. We're trying to get them to move them closer to the center because right now they're kind of on the sidelines, but they are all over the fairgrounds. And you could do your part in participating in the single stream recycling. They also want to expand their compostable efforts, and that means that we're going to remove the food waste and paper products and other biodegradable items out of the waste stream. What this means is that our food vendors' grease can be collected and rendered, and this processed grease can be used to create biofuel. We're also going to try and collect and distribute the manure that's generated by the livestock. And we can reuse this manure for our neighborhood gardens. Now, when it comes to transportation, Arlington's car-free diet is trying to promote several items too. For instance, yours truly arrived here by the shuttle. So one of the ways to get here, because there is no parking at the fairgrounds, is to take one of the shuttles that are going to be located at 4 different locations. You can look that up online. You can also walk, bike. There's a bike share. Take the bus and take the metro. So lots and lots of different ways to get to the fairgrounds. And there's a really excellent website that you can look up on all those different options. And don't forget to bring your reusable water bottle, because guess what? There's water filling up stations around the fairgrounds. So, because it's hot out here, you can tell, whew, I'm kind of hot right now. And so what we want you to do is bring your reusable water bottles and fill up with water at the fairgrounds. And right now I'm going to turn it over to Styrofoam Mom here. This is Miriam Janari. She's got her feet on the ground, been walking around the fairgrounds and observing how our vendors are getting used to this zero waste policy.
Thanks so much, Adele, and wonderful report. I love the aspiration of the Arlington County Committee on trying to make the fairground zero waste. I'll be honest with you, there are some challenges, and so you brought some of them up, so let's just touch on them.
Absolutely.
First thing you brought up was the idea of the straws. You know, I think that there's a big debate around the country on whether you should or shouldn't use straws, but ultimately getting people to request a straw is much better than just giving them one.
Absolutely.
So I've seen great conformity. I think the vendors have done a nice job of not sticking a straw in everything, but there are plastic straws on the fairground. And to be honest, I think that's one of the challenges that a lot of municipalities are dealing with, but at least I see an attempt there.
Exactly.
Now, for the most part, I am very excited to see that most of the vendors are not using styrofoam.
Exactly.
I did come across one vendor that was using styrofoam, and interestingly enough, he said he was not aware. So I think we need to go back and just take a look at how we're informing the vendors when they show up, and really how we're following through when they set up to see what exactly they're using. On a very bright side, many of the vendors are using recyclable containers or compostable ones. One lesson to be learned is that they need to know whether their material is compostable or recyclable, and it would really benefit Arlington County and the whole system if they made sure that their customers knew. For example, we invested in recyclable containers so that you can reach zero waste. Be certain to put that in the compostable, or be certain to put that in the recyclable container. So a little extra information is certainly necessary.
We really want the vendors who've taken the time and effort to switch to compostable options to be able to use that as advertising.
Get credit for it.
Yes.
They've invested extra money, so they should get credit for it. And I think the other thing that you brought up that's really important is that we can't hide this wonderful zero waste plan in the back of the building. We need to bring it out to the main areas where people are walking around and make sure that they understand that they can recycle. It's a wonderful opportunity to talk to vendors and also talk to citizens about zero waste. So I believe the best thing to do for the remainder of the fair is have somebody manning those stations and assist people in telling them, dump the food out here. This is compostable. Great news, you can recycle this. Unfortunately, this is trash. And that's how we begin to help Arlington reach zero waste.
Well, now we're going to go to our CBB stories for tonight as we're here on location at the Arlington County Fair. This is great. This is our first time, in 10 years of doing the Arlington Weekly News, this is my first time here on location. This is such a great event.
After over 100 episodes on the air, WERA-FM producer Rusty Roberts' dream of bringing his program in front of a live audience will finally come true. The program is called It's Not a Show, Live. He's promising laughs, music, questionable material, and with all to be recorded for future broadcasts on WERA-LP 96.7 FM. Admission is a mere $15, and it's your chance to be part of radio history. A small part, anyway. That's on Saturday, August 26th from 8 to 11 p.m. at the Black Cat at 1811 14th Street Northwest in Washington, D.C. And doors open at 7:30 p.m.
Here's an interesting do-it-yourself project to try: a waterproof wallet made of recycled Tyvek envelopes. Tyvek is a paper-like material often used for wrapping houses to keep out the water. You can learn how to make your own waterproof wallet. That all takes place on Wednesday. That's August the 22nd from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Alcove in Roslyn. That's located at 1800 North Lynn Street. The event is recommended for adults.
The next event for families with kids aged 4 and older is called Bat Fest Arlington, and it's about flying furry friends. The live bat show will be presented by Leslie Strugers, director of Save Lucy campaign. There will be a habitat walk, games, and more. You think of Arlington's nightlife in a whole new way. That's on Saturday, August 25th at the Gulf Branch Nature Center and Park 3608 North Military Road. The cost is a mere $8 and the talk begins at 6:30 p.m. but repeats at 7:15 and at 8 p.m.
Roslyn's Outdoor Cinema is winding down August with a showing of For Wedding and a Funeral, a 1994 comedy drama that earned Hugh Grant a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Comedy or Musical. Also in the cast are Andy McDowell, Kristen Scott Thomas, Rowan Atkinson, and Charlotte Coleman. Showtime takes place at dusk, but the fun begins at 5 p.m. with the pub in the park. That all takes place on Friday. That's August the 24th at Roslyn's Gateway Park, located at 1300 Lee Highway. Be sure to check out Roslyn Cinema website at 3 p.m. in case of inclement weather.
The Arlington County Fair has been around ever since the 1970s, and it is still going strong. For those people who think of Arlington as an urban environment, the Arlington County Fair provides ample evidence that agriculture and craft are still to be found if you know where to look. There are still beekeepers here and there, and gardens in which vegetables are grown. Arlingtonians still take pride in their arts, crafts, and baked goods, preserving their own kind of county culture. There is also local music and dance, much of which has been evolving and changing with the times. If that's not enough, there are still the familiar rides and vendors that are associated with old-fashioned hometown festivals. The Arlington County Fair serves as an annual celebration of the many influences and experiences here. It's also a lot of fun.
And now we're going to go on to our senior stories for tonight here on location at the Arlington County Fair. It's such a great event here, and it's so cool to be on location for the first time in my 10 years at the Arlington Weekly News.
Arlington senior adults have many transportation services available. You can learn about them from Annette Perret, who is representing the Commission on Aging's Transportation Committee. Ms. Perret will describe different arrangements, costs, and eligibility requirements. Among the topics will be transit discounts, van rides to shopping destinations, discounted taxis to senior centers, and much more. That's on Wednesday, August 22nd at 11 a.m. at the Langston Brown Senior Center. That's at 2121 North Culpeper Street. To register, call 703-228-6300.
Well, if you would like to learn how to take cleaning chemicals out of your home and replace them with natural cleaning solutions, well, meet Marcy Todd, doTERRA Essential Oils representative. Ms. Todd will share how to make and use common household products to clean, disinfect, and even decrease your toxic load and carbon footprint. That all takes place on Wednesday. That's August the 22nd at the Walter Reed Senior Center. That's located at 2909 South 16th Street. To register, give them a call at 703-228-0955.
Virginia Cooperative Extension horticulturist Kristen Conrad and master gardeners will meet at the Walter Reed Senior Center Garden Group. The Garden Group meets monthly to discuss the challenges, rewards, and wonders of gardening. That's on Monday, August 27th at 1 p.m. at the Walter Reed Senior Center, 2909 South 16th Street. To register, call 703-228-0955.
Friday, August the 24th is the deadline to register online for the 2018, you guessed it guys, the 2018 Northern Virginia Senior Olympics. This year's Olympics will be held, that is on September the 15th through the 26th. Over 70 events will take place at more than 25 venues throughout Northern Virginia. Opening day ceremonies will be held on Saturday, that's September the 15th at 9 a.m. at the Thomas Jefferson Community and Fitness Center. That's located at 3501 2nd Street South. To register, it's very easy to register. Go to www.nvso.us, or for more information, just give them a call. It's at 703-228-4756.
Arlington County 55 Plus Travel Office, which is administered by the Office of Senior Adult Programs, arranges 15 to 20 day trips every month. During the last 2 weeks of August, some of the trips will include the United States Air Force concert, a day in Annapolis, a day in Atlantic City, Virginia Museum of the Fine Arts in Richmond, Solomon's Island, and much more. For more information, call 703-228-4748. And thanks so much to Judy Masabny for this week's Senior Stories.
My name's Rock Baker, and I'd like to play for you. Every New Year's pastor brings flat top box guitar. 109 from Graceville in a dead gold car. Gently with his fingers, then never sees those springs. Would it scandalize the peanut bowl to shake that thing? Daddy paints the houses with his radio on to the tube screaming sounds of Stevie Ray Vaughan, and it comes home from the roadhouse by the Sony plant, rumbling about those Beagle Dogs and the Marshall Tucker Band. The KO Corral gave you a 2-hour show. 20 minutes in, the band said, "Hey, we can't play them all." "Not them all." Well, fellas, she just laughed and she said, "Leave everything to me." She got on the phone and called up little Jimmy Reed. "No, you can't play for those kids forever, Bobby Lee. You'll pay to remind myself of Panthers we used to be. And say yes with a smile when you're asked, hey, should you remember me?" No, you can't play for those kids forever, Bobby Lee. Put that power pop poster tape on that Pratt Hill 8-track and carry the band to Athens all alone on your back. And believe them in Atlanta when they say you've got the licks. Stay here and send that dead weight packing on back to the States. They were slow to take your calls. Now when's that happen? Maybe when you're 32. And you take a look around you and see there's a dozen guys that play just like you. You burn every bridge, but you come home any way you can. Now you got that gig down at the roadhouse by the Sony plant. No, you can't play for those kids forever, Bobby Lee. You'll pay to remind myself of Panthers who used to be. And say yes with a smile when your ass takes shook. Do you remember me? No, you can't play for those kids forever, Bobby Lee. No, you can't play for those kids forever, Bobby Lee. No, you can't play for those kids forever, Bobby Lee. Will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batman, Birmingham? Will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batman, Birmingham? Well, they say you wore a white jumpsuit and a cape and a helmet that both were brown. Batmobile was long and behind the glass at the Alabama State Fairground. Oh, will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batman, Birmingham? Will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batman, Birmingham? Well, the Batmobile was long and maroon, custom fancy tops and flashing lights. Underneath that old Batmobile, you could call the glory blade one lonesome night. Oh, will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batman, Birmingham? Oh, will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batman, Birmingham? Well, the Batmobile, it was long and maroon with custom fancy tops and flashing lights. Underneath that old Batmobile, you saw the glory lane one lonesome night. Oh, will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batman, Birmingham? Oh, will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batmobile? Will you Paris, Batman, Birmingham? Well, the Batman of Birmingham. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for joining us here for the Arlington Weekly News as we're on location at Arlington County Fair. Thank you so much for watching, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy the
Come
fair.
and join us at the fair.
Woo! See you next week.